Alright, I'm back. Is everyone okay? Yes, that does sound like the kind of thing this game would do. Let's go have a look at the bridge. First of all. I'm seeing a distinct lack of being open. But I see some people in orange jackets. Perhaps they're here to fix it? I'm seeing some lack of interactability. Perhaps they, like everyone else in this world, are lazy shits. The sign's gone, so you have to be able to solve that in the first couple of days. First thing that's had any kind of time limit is that that visual calculus on the sign. Oh, and I guess the body, we had like a, I'm not sure if there was a time limit on the perception check on that exactly. There just wasn't really anything else you could do. Like, I don't know, would it have rotted away? Could the game have a failure state where the body becomes too rotten and awful and everyone just lynches you for incompetence? Okay, let's investigate this closed door. I'm not going to manage to get the points to lie to the guy. It costs like, it would be a severe difficulty. Well, buddy, you opened it. No need to go inside. It would be rude. Good job. Let's go now. I'm sure there's nothing interesting in there. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator? A fountain of quicksilver? As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft. A whistle. There's absolutely no way in Earth I would unlock this door and not look at what's inside. You would have to be mad in every way. Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. A book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag. Uh-oh. Encyclopedia. This is the flag of Revachol Sizrenti. What's with the sun? This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle. What's the sevenfold sun miracle? It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomenon is how old Revachol got its flag. It is but one of many strange optic atmospheric phenomenon. This phenomenon and phenomena are the wrong way round here. On this wondrous archipelago, you're sure you once saw sundogs in your youth and blue flares. Lieutenant, the old flag of the suzerain. Lieutenant is an old-fashioned guy. Not bowing to the old flag. The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colourful fabric with a sun sewn into it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing. A small suitcase full of clothes. Guests. Do I next stuff? Nah. I don't need one magnesium that badly. Oof. On the other hand, a shirt with +1 logic. Oof, that would be very good to have. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure, a dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols, a broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others. Tap on the mugs. A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the surround make you vaguely uncomfortable. The images portray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures. What do I mean uncomfortable? The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. Typical asshole. This person is unhappy. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs and puts it back down with a look of disdain. I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment. Whip out your yellow man mug and compare. Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humour, the same mocking lines. There's the missing tin soldier. The lieutenant looks at the mugs next to each other. Whoever lives here must have used the Whirling's container to dump his trash. And now they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often. Do you really think it's the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash? Who knows? The lieutenant opens his notebook. I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter, but still, a nice coincidence. Yeah, you know what? He's a racist. That means stealing from him is okay. I mean, I'm not going to take his magnesium. That would just be fucked up. He might need that. Okay, who's waiting for us when we come out? I guess there wouldn't be any way to lock it again, since I can't initiate another conversation with the door. Clicking the door just takes me through it now. Pressed and spotless, gleaming white shirt. The kind that serious men wear at serious interisolary offices. Not yet piss-soaked or cum-stained. I am actually running out of clothes. Oh no, hold on, this thing scrolls. Maybe I'm just making the lieutenant carry all my clothes. Good job, Lieutenant, as always. Getting a high conceptualization to do some graffiti on the wall is going to be pretty good. But difficult, to say the least. I've also talked to the truckers about the drugs. Maybe I can go and talk to Joyce about that next? I don't know. I wonder if he'll just let me pass now that I have the badge.
Your race descent has only worsened since our lives was over. You have really let yourself go.
I like that I have 50%, well, 42% odds on subscribing to his, quote, advanced race theory. Know anything about this mug? Put it into the trash lately. Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it. Does he strike you as the kind of man who puts mugs into trash? He didn't give me a penalty. But I don't need to fight him. Like, it would be completely pointless. I solved the problem by doing a cool jump with no pants on. With no trousers on, I should say. What's the requirement on this? Oh, there was a note. Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants, sweep off his floor, more banners. I just know that the character's going to forget it at some critical venture. You know? And I'm going to be left kicking myself. If only I'd dice rolled better, I'd have been able to remember the thing that I, the player, actually do remember anyway. But, you know, that cuts both ways, of course. Like, I can't think of any way to rhetoric a cargo container open. But if I were hypothetically amazing enough at dice rolls, the character would be able to. And that's, you know, part of what makes a dice-based role-playing game interesting. I'm quite a long way from being able to rhetoric open Damn, I am so far from being able to...
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. I opened the door, you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now? I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question, you didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the department, did you? There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth. I did go inside. Weasel had the flag of old Revachol on his wall. Exactly the kind of fascist memorabilia I was expecting. Weasel probably prays to it every night for the downfall of the Union. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is going to start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is going to be good. There was a collection of colonial mugs there, and I found a similar mug in the trash with the hangman's clothes. Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organisation. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me with what I do best, helping people, with the power of politics. Yes, yes. Do you think this weasel is somehow connected to the murder? Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you. But this weasel might have cleaned up after the killers. Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel? Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right? He imitates bashing something with an imaginary baton. Great technique. He'd make a great sergeant. Would he? I'm not so sure about it. Oh, you're too kind, Harry. Way too kind. I know not a real police officer. You are. That's all he's going to say on the subject. Too up class. How do you fold your arms with a voice? That's all he's going to say on the subject. Close. We'll work on it. I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it. By now I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys, Wild Pines, sent to scare us, another violent measure of the top hats against those flat caps, says the incredibly fat person in the comfy chair in the gaudy office. I'm listening. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries. You mean our victim? A security contractor. Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they sent hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire. He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun. How? Okay, so 1, why do you need to roll to notice that? 2, why is it composure that notices that? I know that the conceit of the game is that you roll to notice things like that. That's the idea. But I still don't get why that's composure, not perception or reaction speed. Maybe several things can do it, and composure was just the one that rolled highest. I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramirza. You name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company and Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. Hold on, you have a village elephant? No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real. Go on. Now, I haven't personally witnessed brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container. Wait, they moved the container? Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees. By negotiator, you mean Joyce. Harry, he says, ignoring the lieutenant, what you need to realise is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We've got grit, Harry. This whole neighbourhood does. Pushes hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill. An entire neighbourhood of killers. Wait, the whole neighbourhood is in on it? Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base. Who exactly did the pushing? There's a militant wing inside the Union, a group of people whose duties don't involve manual labour, but peacekeeping in the neighbourhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen, and if they already have, well, punishment must follow. So these idealists killed our victim. One day, Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, Boss, Boss, socialist democratic fervour drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land. He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. It sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave him 2 weeks paid leave and told him to lay low to avoid retaliation. It's a nice, parallel with real life cops. Except, killing corporate mercenaries is a bad thing because political violence is always wrong. Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this? Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my loyal girl to look after them. Well, I already learned all this by talking to them in person yesterday, so... Despite his boastful tone, he's having doubts about something. But what? Maybe he doesn't believe the boys really had it in them. They're his boys, after all. I think you're sharing information with the police because you don't think they actually did it. That's very clever, Harry. Yes, they might have just said it to impress some girls or something. But Titus has a bad temper, so the chances are 50-50. How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company? How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. He slams his fist on the desk. That's their MO, it's what they do. Last winter some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. Pardon me. Inappropriate time to be belching. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company. After a little rebranding, and I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gate. So you believe the scabs were organised by the security contractor? You said it. Hell. One of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. He's not scared of them. If anything, he likes them being here. Strange. You mentioned a lawyer girl. I already know, but yeah. Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy, but hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal. Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew. Oh, they are fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative. Interesting. Who's second in command? They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them, hell, interview them, but don't fight them. They really are just like you, men who like beer, women and some order on the streets. Separate one from the herd. I'm making Half-Light Physical Instrument too similar. Physical Instrument needs to be more sort of booming, like I am strong voice. But that comes across too much like drama, of course. Oh well, it'll be fine, my drama is 0 right now, I'm never going to have to use that voice. F. It's probably better not to ask him that. Yeah, sorry, I will ask. The game keeps telling me to be weird. Which one of the Hardy's boys is your least favourite? Oh, that would definitely be Fat Angus. His feet smell from a city block away and he's always having noisy stomach troubles. Horrible, revolting guy. So let's say something happens to Fat Angus. Let's say a citizen's arrest. You would die, Harry, he says, grinning. You would die, and in the process start a bloody and completely unnecessary war between the Departed's Union and the Citizens' Militia. Angus, his ever-growling stomach and his smelly feet are all part of the Union. You have as much right to arrest him as I have to arrest your partner here. Actually less, because this is my hometown, my territory and my backyard. You're a guest here, Harry, please remember that. Oh, Harry, this is getting real grim and there's no need for that. We're friends. Everett, I met these Hardys. Can you ask them to cooperate with me? But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend, Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk. You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say. Also, Harry, here's 5 real. Wait, why are you giving it to me? I'm not giving you anything, I'm just holding out 5 real. Listen, say. Needless to say, this is another move. Don't take it. I don't need it, I only wanted you to help me with the Hardy boys. Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. He pockets the bill. But I am willing to share information. Was there anything else? Good talk. Let's conclude for now. Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. Great silence comes over him. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet. Yet? Yes, Harry, it's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't. I have the biggest communism builder achievement. Get fucked. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats. Hang on. This is the part where we have to have the argument. Are Social Democrats part of the left? Yes, yes. But only barely. Only barely. You're towing the line, fuckers. Interesting that the only left-wing option here is to say that you're even more left than he is. Which is true, so fuck him. You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitches, agent provocateur everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine and I need to get a message out. Will you help me? And what would this entail? Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta. What are the signatures for? I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're going to get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with small houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry. Kim, what do you think of this? It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful. He studies Everard. Birdie thinks it's your call. As I said, it weighs on me heavily. He bows his head in shameless and smiles. But once we get really talking, well, I'm going to hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing. Where is this place exactly? On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village. They're calling it a gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry. Water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her freshly tarred skiff. There's a pair of cavalry boots under the fish in the box, and the wind howls like a vicious spirit. What will happen to the current occupants? They're just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings, right next to a fancy new youth centre designed by the best architects from Stella Maris. If I happen to be there, I can ask them. You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I heard there was some trouble with the water lock, but it should be fixed now. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist. This doesn't sound like socialism at all. This sounds like neoliberalism. You take the legal documents out of the envelope. 12 to 14 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. Look at the zoning plan. The youth centre cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. Kim, what do you think of this? I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but... So, getting some logic might help me out with this one. And I have a full 4 skill points to spend. One of which I could use on dropping the some kind of superstar thought. Which is punishing my logic. That said, I do want to put a bunch of points into visual calculus. But I guess it's too late to get the one with signs, so... The learning cap for composure being raised is useful though. All the learning cap raises seem kind of bad at the beginning of the game, and potentially incredibly important later on. The game doesn't really want you to be a one-trick pony. Yeah, you're clearly encouraged to level up a variety of skills. Other than that, I think I had some other logic things, didn't I? Yes, I can equip the logic glasses as well. 42% still isn't great. And obviously I can also blaze it for +1 intellect. That would get me over 50%. Right now, this is literally only punishing me. Yeah, putting a point into logic and taking away this get me exactly the same benefit, except that this frees up a slot for Motorway South or the rigorous self-critique. Thought will be lost forever. Ah. You can't get them back, I guess. Oof. Ouch. Owie. My brain. That is a really tough one. Visual calculus and composure, I'm like losing a lot of learning cap from if I do that. Like a lot. How many points am I going to put into visual calculus? How many points am I going to put into composure? Man. There's a whole slot for bullets, but I still don't have a gun. Also, it feels weird that it's there to... Get out of here. Get out of here. Oof. Thought lost forever. You're one sorry piece of shit. A cop penitent, a flagellant cop mug. This is not the right line of work for you. You should be grovelling at the feet of a feudal lord, providing lurid evidence against yourself in a Mazovian show trial, or ripping the flesh from your back with a cat of nine tails. Whatever made you this way, you can be damn sure it was your own fault. Do it. Really criticise yourself. Who knows, you might uncover something important from your guilt-ridden past. I'm really, like... Authority is not doing great. 2. 2 on a base of 5. -1 from Mazovian socioeconomics. Anyway, I'll light it up as well, and then hopefully that gets me to 72%. And if I'm going to put a point into logic to make it any higher than that, I may as well roll first. Section 1 passes. There is no loophole. The simple truth is that the current residents are going to lose their street access in the next 12 to 40 months. Their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door. Wait, what are the ramifications of this? Once the construction starts, it will probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out. Oh, Kim, these people are going to have to move away. Can we do something about it? I should have seen it. Lieutenant frowns as he reads over the document again. Efrat probably has eyes on us, but we could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge those signatures yourself. By the time he finds out, we'll already be gone. However, we'll need access to the coast before we do anything. Efrat won't believe you got villagers' signatures if you can't even get to the village. You can try a forgery as soon as we can cross the waterlock. Hello, Sector Alpha Network. Not posting as Cosmo today, I assume. Bold of you to ask for follows, given that there is no one in the chat except you, but I'm not here to critique. That's a lie, I'm here to critique. That weasel I visited, turns out he has a hell of a colonial mug collection. Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment says the guy's a bit of an asshole. Two might get me experience, so see how we're all busy concentrating on the racist mugs? That's what the ruling class wants. Yeah, it'd be really bad if we got into an argument about it. Waste of a good noon. Or afternoon. Or night. He looks around, oblivious suddenly. Anyway, thanks for helping out, friend. Good talking to you. Gotta run. I have become the biggest communism builder. I guess I could try talking to Hardy again now that I have the go-ahead from Everard. I'm just still pissed at the character's failure to notice the obvious problem last time.
Officer! Good day. Put yourself together, honey. What do you want?
Who is Reniano? Rene, I found your guard booth. Yes, the Departiers Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man, don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway. Oh, hi Morg, hang on. You can't read that as a number, I don't think. Anyway, nice to have you in the chat. Not quite no one. Good to know. That interrupted my train of thought. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man, don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway. And money is tight. He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason. You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard. Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on 2-week leave since last Monday. Hold on, why are you on leave? It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation. I haven't spoken to Gaston Martin, so I don't know his voice, but You see, officer, Rene is the kind of man who'd rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, seek it. A real man's man. He's just gonna ride it out. I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. The outburst makes him clutch his chest. It's nothing, just got to cut back on coffee. Deadly stuff, coffee. You should do speed instead. So who was working your shift that night? No one. The booth has been unmanned since last Monday. He looks suddenly very old and tired. There's no other guard, it's just me. No one has been guarding the God damn it, I've lost Kim's voice. No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday? Yes, it's not actually an issue. I mean, look, officers, the container yard doesn't really need a guardsman. Never had one before, Rene. Mr. Clare had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative. Mostly decorative? The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals, he tries to argue. Everard created this job for Rene because he knows the Royal Carabinier's pension of honour and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. Carabiniers, isn't that like the thing you use to attach yourself to a rope in climbing? How'd that get to be a military thing? That is pretty much what he sounds like, Gaston. Unfortunately, I've forgotten which voice that would have been. A decorated kingsman collecting tar reflects badly on the... Is it Tare? Tare reflects bad on the whole neighbourhood. A lot of options here. Everard gets it because looking at small men working together, I love it. Such dependency only weakens a man for fuck that. Rene has put one man, need a program. Get all the elderly back on the job market, keep folks motivated. Job market? Rene should rent out his services, invest the profit, get I do like 5. It's my side thing too. But I'm going to go with 1. More unions. There's a grimace of pain on the old soldier's face. Looks like he wants to argue but can't find words. Finally his lips move. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now? Got it, thanks. Do you know anything about the man hanged in the back of the whirling rags? Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement, but this affair has passed me by completely. And most of the locals? In Martinez, the union is the law, so can you really blame them? But you don't have a problem with cops? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets. That must really pop. So, again, you don't know anything. If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I am an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me. This is a man with a lot of past, but little present, and almost no future. You seem to be playing in a crater. Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. So I can go with the right thing, bullet holes and artillery, or the wrong thing, a sea monster. No, he says without even smiling, it was left by our heavy artillery fire. Heavy artillery fire, you say? That's the best kind of artillery fire. Very interesting. Okay, it's crater left by artillery fire, but why? Why what? Why was heavy artillery used? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Wait, who are the communards again? Communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. And Carabinier frowns. Senseless sentimentality. Did you use artillery fire against them? Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly, too valiantly, so valiantly we got licked. He adds, squeezing a boule in his fist. Should have fought dirty, like they did with the suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bronze. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough. It was probably a bit more complicated than that. Why shell them here in Martinez? Because this place is the damn beachhead, he says, pointing to the bay. Had to soften the commies up first. The beachhead? Yes, he nods, inspecting with some disdain. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. I feel like I've been sort of slipping into evil voice as I come to like this character less and less. But, oh well. He finds your lack of historic knowledge troubling, a sign of mental deterioration in the preceding generations. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Death Blow in 1908. I read that as 98 because I had my cursor in the way. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and La Delta. Death Blow sounds grim. This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, he says, looking down the soil, we're playing petanque on their mangled corpses. Petanque, I suppose, since all the other R's have been pronounced. Blood Ground, the other one shakes his head. You got old Rene going there, like he isn't angry enough already. I kind of feel like I might be just wasting time at this point, but that gets me closer to the completion of the irritating red check blocking thought. Hold on, the coalition? Don't get me wrong, officer, I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that, they're the lesser evil. Is that why everything's so bombed out? Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on this city before they stormed it, and it worked too. There is a strange gleam in his eyes. He approves of this radical approach, knows it was necessary. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. A dark shadow runs across his face, and now the Union Socialists are practically running the place. You work for the... like, you'd be dead. Whatever. Well, it's your own damn fault, the jolly man remarks. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course, they still hold influence. You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... He stops and tells you, what do you think? This is an interesting one, even though it's not a conversation with... I mean, I assume it's not a terribly important pair of characters, as they've only shown up now on day 3. And are sort of off to the side here. But... yeah, I'll just say that's how it should be. Soft socialists paving the way for the hard working class to take over, even though I don't fully agree with that sentiment. It's closer than the rest of the... well... I don't like this cleaned up our mess in the foreign powers one. Foreign powers messed up our place would be more accurate if you ask me. I did get the big communism builder points for it, so... can I say I'm being game mechanically encouraged towards a certain kind of political attitude? It's almost like this game is about things. Preposterous. Surely you don't mean it. I'm just sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those commie hyenas, boiling cats for food, and drinking my piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honourable King Guillaume had turned to Revachol, or even if that damn clown Fristle had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. This royal failure weighs heavily on him. Good. Instead, all that is just, holy and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere, foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This was what they wanted to replace the rule of the suzerain with. I don't really want to hear more about the deposed royalty. What is a suzerain? The suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already? He then nods and says to himself, they've forgotten already. Soon they will forget everything. Him too. Then he chooses anger over melancholy. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened, when we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire. Composure... It can be retried. I don't mind putting points in composure. I have a whole bunch of speed that I could do. Obviously I shouldn't, but I do have it. You know. Just saying, if I wanted to start burning through my health and morale early today. Let's leave this one for now. I saw the statue of Philip III near the roundabout. Ah yes, King Philip III on his steed, a reminder of what Revachol once was. Oh, absolutely. What the hell? What accent am I slipping into there? At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold. Cocaine? Cocaine sounds like our kind of king. And just imagine what kind of cocaine a king would have had. Like, it doesn't get purer than pure. Imagine if electrochemistry were, like, capable of basic thought. Well, I suppose that we're missing the point. A superpower, feared and respected, a testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king, someone who knows how to rule. I can't just say, what was that about cocaine? Hey, I mean, if it gives me +2 to motor ranks, I can use it to pass them. How should a true king rule? Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood. Seems to me a leader should take care of his people before himself. A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was madness to try to... Don't get started on that again. What happened happened. There is some weariness in his voice now. He's heard this rant many times before. The Carabinier doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve. No one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform. It's a symbol for him. Let's talk about something else. We'll come back to that when we come back to it. How am I doing on time? 35 minutes on that one. I have a whole lot of points. 4. I still can't, like, ask these guys when the bridge will be done. But with the thing gone, can I just sort of pull the lever? Pull the lever again. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then the waterlock starts moving. All right, the lieutenant looks across the canal. We can go to the coast now. Expect rugged terrain and drunks. And if you wanted to forge that document for Everard, now you can... I think I probably want to speak to the people who it does concern before forging it. You know, get their input. Ask them what their signatures look like. Now let's talk to Gaston.
I have really outdone myself.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine. I like a man who appreciates a good sandwich.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat ass of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René,
René,
the little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle.
it's the little pleasures. Life doesn't... I can't really do the dryness. Ironically, I need to drink more water. The opposite of helping with that, but... Thirsty game.
Oh, hello, Vincent. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
If I can have a bite of the sandwich, it might recover a point of health. So, something to consider. What do you know about the dead man? Let me think. He looks at the clouds wistfully. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week, but that's all I know, really. Yeah. You must have heard something. No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist. You are both good guys, I can see that. Then help them, you wimp. Reproach fills his eyes. You rub plenty of shoulder with the gauche caviar in the Union. Someone must know something. I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that. Respects? The old carabinier can't believe what he's hearing. Sounds a bit like you're holding back. I'm not, I assure you. I'm not even any... Of course he's holding back. The carabinier crosses his arms. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly. Can I at least finish my fucking sentence? Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? His eyes are furious. I'm not anyone important in the Union, I just know Everard. How do you know Everard? Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium. What do you know about history? The carabinier snaps at Gaston. You never witnessed history, only heard about it years later when it had already moved on. You don't know history. The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. Let's try not to get caught in the crossfire, lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient. That's all for now. Can I have a bite of that? I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food. Nothing personal, it's just a principle. The only one you have. Okay, I'm not that hungry anyway. Rhetoric legendary. That's not quite as hard as opening the container, but it's incredibly difficult. I just know that if I were playing on the intellect track, I'd be wishing I had Psyche instead, but it's... Gotta keep reminding yourself of the fact. What are the rules of this game? Oh, the goal is to throw your boule, he holds up the orb, as close to the cochonnet as you can. That's the cochonnet. He points to a small wooden ball in the middle of the crater. They don't seem to be playing with, like, coloured or marked boules, so I guess they just remember which one is which, or which ones are whose. And that's all I need to know about Petanka. You'll put that knowledge to good use in 50 years. I'm sure of that, officer. I don't like where this is going, officer. Don't you think we should do something else now? Sure, we've got a case to solve. We did solve it. Free. But more importantly, we get to go to a new area and talk to new people about various unimportant things. Pick up change off the ground. Very important job. Someone's got to do it. We are cleaning up the streets, literally. A breaker box to power the radio pylon above you. Maybe there's something inside? Money. Interesting choice, person who puts money there, but... The sign says no entry. Someone scribbled an inverted star on it. Traffic beyond the gate. The inverted star was the communard symbol, right? But what if I just do a little bit of the old breaking and entering? Okay. Biker cop sunnies. For taking your Harmel Ryu Supersonic out for a ride on the streets of Jamrock where your heart is buried. Like, you can feel the streets, man. Although for some reason that gives you empathy rather than shivers. I guess I'm not using logic right now. And I do always like having ridiculously high empathy. 8. You played both and you preferred intellect, but you're halfway through Psi. Fair, fair. I could, like... Oh ho. Hang on. My orb. Is this where someone crashed their police car? Somehow. Sunken motor carriage. A banged up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Indian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels and the engine remain visible. It must be cold and lonely down there in the icy water. This is where the tracks on the plaza are leading to. It appears to be so. The lieutenant has a peculiar look in his eyes as he inspects the wreckage. Let's investigate. I agree, the lieutenant replies, his eyes never leave the sunken vehicle. We should definitely investigate. I can't tell whether he's just like, you fucked up, or whether, like, he's doing the Kitsuragi, he's upset because the vehicle is hurt thing. He's a great character. We love Kim. You get a sudden sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea. Run your hand over the cold metal. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. What's the make of this? Can I see a logo? The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out. But you do see a monkfish float by. Yeah, good eating monkfish. In our world, at least. For all I know, in Celindian, monkfish are poisonous or venomous or not even technically fish. How long has it been here? The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. He leans forward to peek into the cold water. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday. Well, well, well. Looks like Jacob Uru's journey came to an abrupt end here. Your mocking tone finds no response but the motion of the waves. None of these quite fit what I should be saying here. I may have missed a check somewhere. Enough gloating. This is serious. Yes, quite. The lieutenant seems to be inspecting you more closely than the motor carriage. What should we do? Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside. How long will it take for the low tide to come in? I don't know, an hour or two tops. Sit on the swing and wait. Oh shit, you can just do that! As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. And I automatically fail the drama check to whistle a tune. And it's a red check. Ugh, savage. I didn't know that would happen. Oh well, that's the fun of it. It looks very blue. Yes, it does. What's your favourite blue thing? Let me think about it. Wait in silence. It's impossible to say if it's happening, if the water is receding. All you feel is a lot of time going by. The clouds pass in the sky, and then I get the thought completion. Would have been nice to have that just 1 ounce earlier, but I suppose. The shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion. Would you rather sit on an anthill for an hour or stand in a river of leeches? Well, the lieutenant rubs his chin. Historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments. Clouds in the horizon grow darker and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass. If you had to side with either the strikers or the shipping company, who would you choose? Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organisation and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hard place. But if someone puts a gun to your head, your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes passed. Can you make out the mark now? Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I can find it odd that you haven't. It's a Cupri Model 40. It's a simple and rugged machine favoured by working men, government officers, firefighters, animal control people, you know, those kinds of people. Is that a number on the side? Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for? "41 is his rank in the underground street racing hierarchy. Small fish, this one. But it could also be," he tilts his head and stresses, "the number of a police precinct. Precinct 41. Your precinct." A massive pit opens up in your stomach and the most terrible feeling comes over you. Oh God, Harry! Oh God, Harry, what did you do? Nope, nope, say no to this, Harry. Oh God, it's mine, I drove my car into the sea. I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here. Maybe I was in pursuit of someone. Ironically, I guess you were in a way, but how do we get it out? Detective, we don't. Our rescue operation really isn't viable at this point. So it's just going to be there like that? I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable, but overall this machine is a write-off. Everyone loves Kim, that's not surprising. He's very adorable. They're not going to take me back after this, are they? People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly. People, yes, but not you. The badge, the gun, and now this. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything. There is also a fourth thing you've lost. I don't want to hear about that. It's lost forever, into the deepest of seas. Well, at least I can see what's in there now. Yes, let's go take a look. Tutorial agent. Go to inventory and interact with the item by clicking the Interact tab and then Interact. What item? Thought complete. The precarious world. How not to lose? It is impossible not to. The world is balanced on the edge of a knife. It's a game of frayed nerves. You're pushed on by numbers and punitive measures. Pain, rejection, and unpaid bills. You can either play, or you can crawl under a boat and waste away. Turn into salt or a flock of seagulls. Your enemies would love that. Or you can fight. The only way to load the dice is to keep on fighting. Critical success and failure thresholds lowered by 1. Does that mean that I fail on a 2 and a 3, or does that mean that I don't fail on anything at all? I assume that for this to be worth anything at all, it's at least giving us critical success on 11s and 12s. I suppose it might let me rhetoric that container open. Maybe. The chances don't feel great, but... What time is it? 20 past 8. Whee. Okay, I might be able to do the forgery. With my old friend amphetamines. And, for some reason, gardening gloves. A bottle, drained of all its booze, is frozen to the ice. Logic. This is it. The scene of the party. The fire pit, cigarettes and empty bottles, all evidence of it. Hold up, don't you mean the scene of the crime? Not as such. I'm talking about what came after, the party scene. Sure does look like a lot of folks partied here. Looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles. The sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point. Like a goose ice sculpture or a chocolate fountain. So we had a couple of partygoers here. Looks like it. Looks like they had a great time laughing here. Hey, let's keep moving, detective. Somehow he doesn't want to dwell on it. So I got a very nice jacket. Double pluses. Although coats are usually all plus. RCM Commander's jacket. +1 Esprit de Corps, +1 Visual Calc. I do miss the +1 shivers. I may as well just keep the coat on, actually, for the shivers until I need the Visual Calc. And of course, the badge. Thick blue piece of acrylic. A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back. I found my badge. At least something good came out of all of this. Lieutenant glances at the badge in your hands. I will look at it. Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information, and a watermark in the shape of a street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and in the lower right corner, your precinct. Look at the photo. The man keeps winking at you with his green and grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. Good choice. A newer photo would look different. How old? 8, maybe 10 years? The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns. And he's winking? Why? Why do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. It looks better on him because he isn't in as much pain while producing it as you are now, although there's certainly already a hint of that pain, certainly. Don't be fooled. The bad times have already begun. Too many internal voices. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information and a shining watermark. Name, Harrier Dubois. Harrier. That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Yes, I've got the voice. Everard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't. Strange. It doesn't say Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. Not strange at all. Your name is Harrier Dubois, like it says on your police badge. What kind of name is Harrier? It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide. Harrier Dubois it is then. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois. He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you and detective when he's not. That's not the voice at all. What the fuck? Rank... Lieutenant Second... Lieutenant Double Jeffreito. What is a Lieutenant Double Jeffreito? Lieutenant is a rank above Sergeant and below Captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a Lieutenant. It's getting late. My brain's going. We'll have to finish this conversation and call it a day. Well, a real life day. It's only been a few hours in game. Wait. And Double Jeffreitor? The title of Jeffreitor is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank, in your case Captain. You have declined twice, thus you're Double Jeffreitor. Declined? There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's decomptage may be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors, out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case Lieutenant. Heavy-duty case-solving machine. I thought my rank was drunk. Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary. I'm afraid there are no ex-alcoholics. People have been through worse and gotten back on their feet, Lieutenant W. Freiter, he says with a cheering little smile. What's a decomptage? Decomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol Citizens Militia. It means counting down to twos. The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, and then sergeant, lieutenant, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kinks. What kinks? Kinks like satellite officers and the occasional Jeffreitor rank I already explained. The long and short of it is, you're his superior. Good. Wait, satellite officers? You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite. So you've been putting up with all my bullshit because I'm your superior. No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you're doing good police work. It matters more than driving a motor carriage into the sea. And now you've even found your badge. He trusts you, for now. Try not to spoil it. Turn back the document. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't finish the case files, did I? Serial Rev 126205 Jam 41. That's just the serial number. Rev Ashol Jamrock Precinct 41 with some numbers thrown in there for good measure. I like him just admitting, yeah, you just throw numbers in these things for good measure. Date of issue 7th November 50. 4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant WF Writer. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then. The case create a lot of edge you'll have to take off. The death march really gets us going. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you, of that you are sure. Horrific necktie. I don't know a voice for the necktie. I remember that time. The tie around your neck feels tight suddenly. That was a good time. We had a good work-drink balance going. What happened, man? Pump it up. Precinct 41? Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41. Like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbour, a lot of asphalt. The 41st is... what? It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is. It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honour and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Badyaeva. The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. A big success. Some of these should probably be gone now. Alright, I think that's where we have to call it for today. We made limited progress. As always, I hope to return on Saturday with more Disco Elysium. Currently not playing anything on the twitch.tv/Dirdle. Might pick up a new Path of Exile challenge when the Christmas events come out. Until Saturday then, good luck and have fun.